You are now listening to The Sports Nuts.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Sports Corner Show. My name's Ralph Williams, and we're here every Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m., and I want to thank Brandon Keeler and the Sports Nuts Network, as we are now broadcasting live on the Sports Nuts Network, and we are also live on some radio stations across the country, and we'll get to those in a minute. My co-host is Smokin Jim Frazier, as you see there on the screen. He is on by phone. And our guest today, our first guest, will be DWAYNE MORTON. We'll get to him in just a moment. But first, I want to get all of our radio stations in here that are carrying us today, as well as the Hawaii Sports Network. I want to thank them. Aloha to everyone out there in the Hawaii Sports Network for having us on today as well. And all right, let me get the list here. I have the list, but I got to get it. There we go. All right, here we are. We are on 95.5 KFCE, Terrell, Texas, Tiger Nation Live, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, 93.3 FM KJR in Seattle, and as I mentioned, the Hawaii Radio Network as well, Sports Radio Network. Again, aloha to those folks. 107.5 The Ticket in Montgomery, Alabama. We're also on AM 610 KNML, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and soon to be coming 105.5 The Roar, Easley, South Carolina, and WGR 550 AM, Buffalo, New York. And we're airing in the lower 48, Hawaii, the American Samoa, Iceland, Italy, Dubai, Russia, England, Scotland, Ireland, Japan, Greece, Africa, Finland, Sweden, and many more countries all across the world. And we want to thank all those folks listening in today. We are live on the Sports Nuts YouTube channel, Facebook page. We're also on my Kick Network. We're also on my Twitter page, Twitter X, and we are also on my Facebook page as well. So just to let everyone know, on my YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter X as well. All right, comment section's open for you if you wish to comment on anything you want to comment on at this time. Now, before we get started, I got to pay some bills too as well. So let me get into that as soon as I find my banner here, wherever it went here. Oh my! No, that's what happens when you have news. There we go. 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning is our studio sponsor. We're here at Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland, just outside of Ocean City, Maryland. Call today. You want to call Mata. Western Pennsylvania's #1 heating and air conditioning company. Also, they provide UV lighting and snow melt. And the way the snow's been coming down right now, you definitely need snow melt and you need UV lighting so you can see your way into your house and to keep the crooks away. Don't forget, get your UV lighting and snow melt as well from Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. And we're also sponsored by Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland. 410-596-1681, Mike Dotson Realty. Please get a short-term rental. 2026, Ocean City is raising their hotel rates again, and they're also executing an extra 1% tax on hotels. So please make sure you get a short-term rental from Mike. All right. Okay, also, I want to talk about today. We're going to get started with our rants, and first, Smokin Jim's wisdom. Go ahead, Smokin Jim. And welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Will. Hey, I tell you what, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers are starting to look good, and I think we can attribute a lot of it to Aaron Rodgers, man. Last couple of weeks, Aaron Rodgers looked like a young guy, man. He looked like he turned the clock back. I think they really found their identity offensively. And the offense really looked good last night in the victory against the Miami Dolphins. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are one game away from my dream, 9 wins.
That's right, 9-8. As I always say, 9-8, Mike. All right. My rant today is this. The game last night was one heck of a football game. I enjoyed it. It was 28-15. We shouldn't even let them get the scores that they got. My question to the Steelers is, how in the world did you let Darren Waller get away? He was a free agent. You know that guy is a top-notch receiver, but or a top-notch tight end. But do you know he talked about retiring? Then he came back to play for the Dolphins. I think Mike Tomlin could have talked him into playing for the Steelers. That guy is huge. He's about 6'8", weighs about 260, 70 pounds, and can catch the football every time you throw it to him. Darren Waller was sitting out there, and we didn't get him. Who did we get? We got Jonnu Smith, who's good for the end of rounds and maybe dropping a couple passes. Freiermuth finally got involved again in the game last night, and then all the tight ends got involved. It was great to see that. Adam Thielen, I didn't see anything from him last night. And then also, don't forget, Roman Wilson wasn't even in part of the game playing last night. He was inactive. My question is, what do we do with Roman Wilson? Later on today, coming up at 4:30, Jeremy Ballrich from the Kneecap Biting and the Detroit Lions. He covers the Lions for Huddle Sports Network. And I got to tell you, he's coming on today. The Steelers Sunday play the Detroit Lions in Ford Field. They have the same record as the Steelers. And I told everybody, and nobody believed me when I said the Lions are going to fold this year without their coordinators. They're not going to be as good as they were. And guess what? I was right on that, because they're not as good as they were last year, because they don't have their coordinators there that they once had. And Dan Campbell's calling plays, so we're going to find out what Jeremy has to say. Don't forget, next hour, Wrestle Talk coming up. We have a lot to talk about there today. I was right again about who the masked man was, and I was right. So guess what? We're going to talk about that next hour on the Wrestle Talk show. All right, let's get started with our guest here, DWAYNE Morton. DWAYNE, welcome to the program. Thank you, Brandon Keeler, for referring DWAYNE to us as a guest. DWAYNE is a mental health expert who works with athletes and with mental health. And, you know, a lot of people, they don't think that's important. They don't think athletes have mental health. Thank you for that, Mickey Delaney, I believe that is. Yeah, Mickey Delaney. Thank you. Good afternoon to you as well. And I want to say good afternoon to everyone else who is on the air here as well. And there we go. Sports Nut DWAYNE, my brother. That's it. Brandon Keeler, how are you today as well? And I want to point out something real quick before we get to DWAYNE again. Look what I got, my new ski hat or beanie or whatever you want to call them. Actually, they're called ski hats. It says RW Media Productions, and behind me is my banner, but I haven't yet been able to get it to me. So, you know, you guys, food for your, all right, whatever that is. All right. Okay, DWAYNE. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and I understand you have a book out, and you know, you handle mental health for athletes. Talk with us here.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to the listeners. I believe in just being able to apply gratitude in everything, and you know, the listeners give us our time all the time. So time is one of the most valuable commodities in the world. So I just want to say thank you for that, Ralph. Thank you for putting me on your platform. Thank you, Brandon Keeler.
Thank Brandon Keeler. He was the one who referred me there. There you go.
Brandon Keeler is an amazing guy. And
yes,
so,
he is.
yeah, so I'm DWAYNE Morton. I'm a former international basketball player at the age of 19. And while I didn't have a very long career, but I wanted to be a sports psychologist. And as I was going through that journey, I ended up getting diagnosed with a rare blood cancer at the age of 29 in 2006. Wow. And in 2006, they gave me originally 5 years. And in that 5-year period, year 4.5, man, I went through my savings and stuff with the bucket list items and went and watched the Lakers at almost courtside a couple of times. So, but anyway, as I was dealing with that, and after they gave me a little bit more time, I was involved in a police shooting as a bystander. And as you know, just that part right there, just saying that. But it was a really close call. And what it did was it got me prepared. And then when last year, March 8th, I found out I was misdiagnosed with the blood cancer. And so that kind of kicked off the resilience part of me and showing, I didn't realize that a lot of people didn't have that part. And so I became a resilience coach. I'm a published author. I'm a podcast host also, but, you know, I really see myself standing stages and helping also, you know, mental performance with athletes. And so that's what I'm doing.
DWAYNE, tell us a little bit about some of the athletes you've worked with currently, and also tell us a little bit about some of the mental health issues that some athletes have. I know gambling, drinking, blowing all their money. I mean, we have already seen one of Deion Sanders' sons go bankrupt already because of NIL money and stuff like that. I'm sure do you encounter those kind of things, or is it also the concussion part of it and some other stuff?
Yeah, so all these are great questions. So, what I would say is I dealt with anxiety, I dealt with depression, so I had a different feel, but also like I met athletes who had made a lot of money, and I don't want to name drop certain people, just
Right, I got you. Sure. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah.
but also what I want to say is like I've seen them have a lot of money, and I've seen them have none, and then I've seen them go broke. But then here's the other part: is they built themselves back up to where they have a large sum of money now. So it's like I think sometimes we don't give athletes enough credit
No, we don't.
for what they actually can do. First of all, self-discipline is pretty much an athlete's like that's in their pocket because of sports. And what most people don't realize is the regular person doesn't have that. Also, athletes can perform under pressure. They're used to it. And so one of the things I tell the student athletes that I work with, I tell them all the time that you have to be prepared for 50% of the fans love you and 50% of the fans dislike you. But with one errant thing can go wrong, and that 50% that love you, they hate you. And so I tell people all the time, don't depend on that. It's not
Exactly. Exactly. And, I've seen a lot of athletes fall. I used to be the personal cab driver for Mike Webster, former Pittsburgh Steeler. I saw what when he went through. We had some Steelers that have committed suicide. Terry Long, because he had concussions. Justin Stralzik. There's a bunch, which led to the movie Concussion. I wish mental health was out there for these athletes back in them times. Now it's out there because of these things. Smokin' Jim, do you have any questions for DWAYNE?
Yeah, man. DWAYNE is deep, man. This is wow. I think that his book would be so interesting. But just for example, in current events, DWAYNE, the head football coach of Michigan, when he got fired for what he was doing, he went and threatened to kill himself. Is that something that is usual where a guy gets hit with something that's really traumatic for him and his family, and kills himself, or maybe kills somebody close to him?
So this is a great question. This is actually not a question that I would be prepared to like, oh, I'm going to get this question. What it was the consequences that he was not willing to face. I mean, that's why he decided he wanted to take the route out, because guess what? He screwed up a lot of people's lives. Honestly, what I would love to see done, it won't be done. And I'm not saying like give them the death penalty or anything like that, but like that whole entire athletic department was covering up a lot of stuff. The staffer went from 50K to 93K. There's something usually up when people get their double pay. And I mean, and also you gotta commend the guy who was kind of the whistleblower of the
right.
Michigan quarterback to come out, and he got all kinds of hate. I actually went and read some of those comments, and it was all, they were just saying like it was him being racist and him. And again, I don't have all the context. So, I don't have everything. Right. What I will say is like when you are going to take somebody's life for a decision that you also mutually made, and you also had that part where you're married, so you also just messed up the union that you said vows for, and that was going to cost him money. And so it's just, there was a lot of things that I like. I'm not sure. I respected him before. I pray for him now, because that's what he needs. He needs to figure out that like some things that he was thinking or things that he was doing aren't morally and ethically correct. And so that's kind of the hill I'm willing to stand on. But I feel like if the Michigan's department that they want to really make move, they would get rid of the whole entire athletic department because there was cover up, and so that's not good. That um, and honestly, NCAA is going to step in and they're going to make some type of roads to that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Michigan's been in trouble before. Jim Harbaugh was, there was some stuff going on with him. He got suspended. This is just a continuing pattern with Michigan, and it really gets kind of sad, to see that. Snowman's checking in as well, and also let me see here. Mickey Delaney says, "Sports Nuts, who is DWAYNE? DWAYNE is a mental health coach who also has a book out there, and he handles mental health coaching for athletes who need some mental health treatment as well. And he helps them out. He does counseling, as a book out. Tell us a little bit about your book, DWAYNE, and when you published it and what it's about.
Yeah. So, I told you a little bit about my story. I actually dropped that book on May 16th, which just so happened to be the 3rd anniversary of that shooting. So I knew how much mindset meant. And so I had a negative event and I wanted to make that into a positive event. And so, but the book is called The Bounce Back Blueprint, Become Bulletproof. One of the reasons that I used the bulletproof part was because the bullet did not hit me. It hit the truck. I was very lucky where it hit.
Yes.
But also what it does is that bulletproof mindset. But on the cover, the basketball actually has a hole in it. And the reason that it has a hole in it is because it took away my innocence. It took away, my soul took a hit. But what it did, man, it gave me a purpose to talk about resilience, talk about mental health. But what I did was with this book is I gave the modalities that I used as I was going through the things that I went through, being diagnosed, being misdiagnosed, the shooting, all these little different things. And one of the things that I found was hypnosis. Hypnosis really helped me heal the trauma from, a level 9, level 10.
Right. Yeah, I've heard hypnosis works. I heard it works for weight loss, smoking, and a lot of other things as well. But I never got involved in that because I've always been a heavy person until recently. I dropped a lot of weight because of my diabetes. But, I have never, been a skinny person or anything like that. And someone told me to go get hypnosis, and I just didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So
I've got a guy, man, who works with UFC people and some different people, but like he's a master hypnotist. There's not like just somebody playing on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or gets their education off the internet. No offense to anyone that does the internet education. No offense, but
no, yeah. I don't want to take any offense to anybody or take any jabs. But what I want to say is like literally he helped me get my confidence back to how I was when I was playing basketball. Like,
I see. Yeah.
So there's like this 28-year window that he brought me back to that confident. And so, that's why I'm able to come on podcasts like this and, go on TV shows and those type of things, because now
you have your own podcast too, DWAYNE. I admire everything you're doing. I'm handicapped. I'm in a wheelchair. A lot of people, when I go out and about and I tell them I have a media company, I have radio shows and stuff, they go, hey, you know what? I admire you because there's not a lot of people like us that have been through a lot, in our lives, yourself included. And, I've been through a lot with this, and Brandon's been through a lot of some things that he's done, but he's come through. And, God bless us for coming through on some of Smokin. Jim's been through some things. We all have, but, you and I, DWAYNE, we've been through, I've been through the ringer several times. Next year will be 10 years I've been in a wheelchair, and I'm working on trying to get out of it, so I can walk again. I'm working on that. I had to drop some weight. I had to get my sugar down, and I'm working on a lot of other things. I got some things that I'm down here that I'm doing that I didn't do up in Pittsburgh when I lived up in Pittsburgh. And, I'm just doing a lot of different things differently here, and I'm getting a lot of good advice from some good coaching down here, and it's going really well for myself as far as that goes. And moving down here was the best thing I could have done. I got the ocean air, and my health is better. My anxiety's not around anymore and all that other stuff. So it's really nice. Sometimes a change of scenery. I say this all the time, for not only athletes, coaches, but for anybody will do you some good. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Uh,
So I have a gift for the listeners, but I think
okay.
because normally that's usually at the end, but I feel like
Right.
what you just said is actually going to really make sense that I'm saying this.
Right.
So
Go
as I
ahead.
was going through my diagnosis, I knew that like everything, if I take small consecutive steps and created that consistency, but also if I did these small steps, I knew that I could make some type of movement.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely.
I created this. It's called DWAYNE's Daily Plan of Attack. It's really difficult to have anything with Dwayne because of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but like this is
That's it.
mine. Stay
Yeah.
back the Rock. Okay. So
Yeah, always have a plan of attack, man. Always. I always have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. I never
yeah,
do anything without them because you
absolutely.
never know when the first plan's not going to work. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So
Smoking
this is
Jim, do you have any more questions for Dwayne?
hold on one second.
Oh, okay. I'll get it, Dwayne.
So these four principles that like is part of Dwayne's daily plan of attack. First
Right.
principle is going to be is just gratitude. Just be thankful for the day because guess what?
Yes.
Other people don't get it. Number 2 is going to be self-care. However you feel like self-care is. Number 3 is movement. Just move. And so when I was diagnosed, if just go into the fridge and get a glass of OJ, I celebrated the hell out of that because it took a lot of effort. And number 4 is going to be adaptable, like just adaptability. Like you cannot expect everything to go your way. Like there's going to be things that come in the road and you've got to swerve like in a car. But
Yes.
if they go to show up to win with the number 2, you sign up to my wait list for my resilience coaching, and that PDF is there, and it explains a little bit more in detail.
All right, Snowman from Indiana. Thank you for tuning in as well. And we got Cyberuski. What's going on? How are you, Cyberuski? Everything's going good. We have training coach DWAYNE Morton on with us today. And coming up at 4:30, Jeremy BALLREICH from the Kneecap Biting and the Detroit Lions broadcast, and also from Huddle Sports Network. He's going to be here to talk with us about the Pittsburgh Steelers Detroit Lions game coming up Sunday. Smokin' Jim, any questions for Dwayne before I let him go?
Awesome job, Dwayne. I think what you're very inspiring.
Yes, absolutely.
And let us know how we can get your book.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, Dwayne. Tell us how we can get your book, how everyone can tune into your podcast. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's on Amazon. You can just search for me, the author part. The book is a guide. It's a recipe. I tell people like follow that and you'll get those results. But if you try to put your own spin on it, try to not do something and take something and be like, oh, I want this, you're not going to get that the same thing. And so that's part of the book. But like I said, show up to win with the number 2. You go there, that's where you get the wait list. And then I'm Show Up to Win on Instagram. And I would love for brand new followers. And if you got any questions, please hit me up. Please feel free. I always tell people I'm approachable. Like, please hit me up if you need some direction or you feel like you need some direction. I'm willing to help and I want to help. And so I think the thing is when you find your purpose, like I honestly enjoy sharing my story and my journey to help others.
We enjoy having you here to share it.
Yeah. So I enjoy it more than basketball. Like I would rather do this right here than me go and shoot basketball or go watch a game anymore. So, I mean, it's just become part of my life. And so I'm so thankful and grateful.
I enjoy doing this right here. Ask Smokin' Jim. I love doing this, talking on microphone. And, I'm blessed to have radio shows now and things are expanding. And I'm blessed to have Brandon Keeler as a friend that we're now on the Sports Nuts Network and all these radio stations across the country and everything else. Dwayne, thank you for being part of the program. Have yourself a great one. Appreciate it. I will go out and get your book. In fact, I'll order it as soon as I get off the air tonight. I will make sure I get it and order it. So and get that and follow the recipe in Dwayne's book. Make sure you follow it. Because like he said, if you stray away from the formula, it's not going to work. So you need to really get into the formula of Dwayne's book. And I'm going to go out and get it because I'm inspired by it as well. All right. Thank you, Dwayne, for being part of the show once again. Have yourself a great one. Smokin' Jim, anything you want to add?
Great job, Dwayne. Great. Honored to meet you, brother.
All right. All right.
Thank you, Smokin' Jim.
All right. Thank you, Dwayne. And that was DWAYNE Morton, mental health coach and also author. He also has a podcast. Look up Dwayne Morton. Look him up. Get his book. Go out and there's no shame, Smokin' Jim, in anyone that needs help with mental health to go out and get help or get some kind of coaching or training. Smokin' Jim?
There's a lot of shame to it.
Yeah.
That's why people don't do it, and that's the shame.
Right. Exactly.
Especially in the black community, man. You don't see too many people going to school to be psychiatrists, psychologists, because black people ain't going to go. Probably one of the lowest races to seek out help, and I think everybody should seek out and talk to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And he talked about hypnosis. Kenny Norton, the heavyweight champion of the world, was just an average fighter until he started getting hypnotized before the fights, and he turned out to be one of the all-time greats. So
those kind of things, yes.
Work for certain people,
So, yes, yeah. Absolutely. So, all right. Cyberuski said Smokin' Jim is the man. There you go, Cyberuski.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Okay. Coming up shortly here, we have Jeremy Ballrich from the Kneecap Biting and Huddle Sports Network, and also he covers the Detroit Lions, who the Steelers play. In the meantime, Smokin' Jim and I, we're going to talk about last night's game, final 28-15. You and I were both off on this. I said 24-21. You said 34-32 like you normally do. Your thoughts on this game last night, Smokin' Jim?
Very proud of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said, man, most teams, you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they peaked early. They look like they're going the other way now.
Yeah.
The
they are.
Steelers they still haven't peaked yet. I think the defense can play much, much better because the talent is there. But offensively, it's starting to come together, man. You can see the pieces coming together. You can see what they're trying to do offensively. And just having a ball.
How about
we stay healthy?
I'll tell you what. How about Dylan Cook? Dylan Cook last night did a really good job, and this was only his third start since 2023 with the Steelers. This was only his third start. So Dylan Cook did a pretty decent job filling in for Broderick Jones last night, and I thought he did a pretty decent job containing, that pass rush from Miami last night.
Well, I wasn't overly impressed. He had a lot of help over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know Spencer Anderson and and Darnell Washington. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were giving him all kinds of credit last night. That's where I got that from, actually, but I watched it myself. So, I actually was watching three different things at the same time. I was on my tablet watching Raw on Netflix, and then I was watching, which we'll talk about in the next hour on Wrestle Talk. I was watching Monday Night Raw and the football game, and I was watching Pensman Sports, who did a live play-by-play of the Steeler game last night. So I was watching. He does a great job with it. I mean, he really does. Yeah. You have to check it out sometime on his page on the Sports Nuts Network too. He does a play-by-play. I joined him one time a couple weeks back, and so it's really good. He does a really good job. I have never indulged in that in my broadcasting career until now, but of course I never really had an opportunity either. So but that's I'm making my own opportunities now, and that's a good thing. So all right, Mickey Delaney said, "What's up with Jim's phone? It is low." Well, I don't know what's up with Jim's phone. So if it's low, I don't know. So we'll have to figure it out here. I got the thing up all the way, so there you are, the fader. All right, let's see what Brandon says. Dwayne is a good friend of mine. He's been on our show. Yes, he has. And Brandon, I want to thank you for referring him to me. He was a great guest today. And Brandon is really good with that. He has some great people he knows, and always have some great guests on there as well. So just to let everyone know that as well. All right, we're going to continue here because Jeremy's running a little late. It looks like I don't know what's going on with him. I'll find out in a minute here. Let me see where Jeremy is at. But in the meantime, Smokin' Jim, I thought the offense did really good. The game is much slower for Aaron Rodgers. And now, after Phillip Rivers won on Sunday, Smokin' Jim, he is no longer, or has been playing. He is no longer the oldest quarterback in the league right now. It seems like Phillip Rivers is. And it was interesting to see him out there playing at 44 years old. Your thoughts on that, Smokin' Jim?
I come up with these theories that everybody else thinks that. In the National Football League, I don't know if you know this or not, Ralph, but after 5 years, you lose your health insurance.
I didn't know that.
So now he gets another 5 years, and with 10 kids, I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly.
One serious medical ordeal with the kids or his wife or himself can put you in millions of dollars in a hole. So I believe he came back to renew the health insurance, and man, I was proud of him. Bill Cowher wanted him back in the draft in 2004. But we looked up and got Big Ben was still on the board. But I tell you what, man, I was proud of him after 5 years of not playing. Man, he stepped right in there, man, and did not embarrass himself. He had Seattle beat at Seattle till the last 18 seconds of the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It was sad to see that he lost that game, but at least he was competitive. And, he didn't show any rust. He was there. They said he was practicing away to try to get the rhythm back. And like you said, he has 10 kids. And I didn't know that, Smokin' Jim, that after 5 years, you don't get any benefits anymore. So I'm checking in here with Jeremy Ballrich to see if he's coming on as well. But anyway, Jeremy's going to bring us up to speed on the Detroit Lions. Smokin' Jim, did I not call this on the Detroit Lions at the beginning of the year? I said I don't think Detroit's going to have the season they've had because they lost their coordinators to head coaching jobs.
You sure did.
And
I'm a witness to that.
yes, absolutely. And you know what? I will admit I'm right, and I will come on the air and tell you I'm wrong. And it's as simple as that. That's just the way I am. That's the way I've always been. And I was right on that one. What do you see here in the Detroit Lions? Do you think the Steelers can beat them at home? What do you think they can do? Can they stop their offense? Dan Campbell's calling the plays now. Apparently, he's not happy with his offensive coordinator, which was I think he was a pass game or run game coordinator when he brought him up. And because Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson took a lot of his assistants with them, including Antoine Randall, who now works with the Bears and under Ben Johnson. So your thoughts on all that?
Well, my feelings about the Detroit Lions. I think Detroit Lions is one of the truly great franchises in the history of the National Football League. Ever won a championship since 1958 when
Bobby Lane
said they would not win a championship for 50 years or 68 years now and counting. I think the Detroit Lions, I think that Dan Campbell is showing his limitations as a coach. He's a motivator, man. He's not a coordinator. And for him to take over the play calling duties, I think is ridiculous. I think that Detroit got all the talent in the world. They needed something better from their head coach. If he wasn't satisfied with your coordinators, your offensive coordinator, you should have made a change in the off season. But you have to oversee an overseer. And that's where Mike Tomlin got into trouble when they got rid of Bruce Arians and Dick LeBeau.
Yeah, exactly.
They do everything and get the credit for everything. Some people are just better as an overseer. That's what a head coach is supposed to be anyway. And overseeing everything, not trying to focus on just the offense. And I think that I don't think Dan Campbell is smart enough from the neck up to call offensive plays. He's not quick-witted enough. And I think he's a really good football player. I think he's a good motivator. He's a competitive guy. but he's in over his head making play call.
All right. We have Jeremy Ballrich here, who has disappeared off the screen for a minute.
Just for a second, I got to get something out.
Okay, no
I'm
problem.
going to push back on his offensive play calling a little bit because it's better than everybody thinks.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to you in a minute, Jeremy. Let me get to this here. Sports Nuts has secured breaking news that they have secured an interview with NFL strength and conditioning coach for the Denver Broncos. All right, that is great. By the way, Brandon, if you when you talk to them, tell them that strength and conditioning coach to say hello to my friend Mike Westhoff, who's the assistant head coach there. I interviewed him when he wrote his book. He was a great special teams coach. He worked for the Jets and some other in the New Orleans Saints. He worked under Sean Payton in the past, and he was a great NFL or a special teams coach. I had comments from TJ Hushmanzada about how good he was and everything else, or how good he is, and now he's the assistant head coach working under Sean Payton in Denver. So. All right, Smokin Jeremy B. We got two Smokins on today. We got Smokin Jeremy B, Jeremy Ballrich. Tell everybody about yourself. And we're broadcasting on some radio stations live, including the Hawaii Sports Network on the Sports Nuts Network. And we're on all different types of platforms here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter X, and the Kick Network as well, and some Facebook pages. We're really broadcasting here now. The Sports Corner Show. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, I run the Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions YouTube channel. I also have the same name as a Facebook page. I'm a part of the Sports South Florida Tribune as a writer, writing about the Detroit Lions. I'm a part of Roundtable IO, writing about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. And I also am a part of the Huddle Sports Network, which mostly covers the 4 teams in the NFC North, but we have shows from other teams as well. But since Dan Campbell took over the play calling in week 10, we're first in yards per play, third in points scored, fourth in touchdowns, 24th in punts, and 32nd, dead last in giving up turnovers.
Wow. I see. Okay. So Dan Campbell's actually made it better than Jeremy. Is that correct? Is that
well,
what
think about this? The only game that we had bad scoring in was when we scored 9 points versus the Eagles, which they don't give up a lot of points to teams.
No, they don't. No, Vic Fangio's a great defensive coordinator there for the Eagles, and they don't give up a lot of points. No, you're right.
Since he took over, we've scored 24, then 9, then 34, then 44, then 24, then 44 again, then 34.
All right. Brandon Keeler has said that we have 2,900 people listening on the radio. 2,900. Wow.
That's amazing.
That is
Thank
great.
you for listening, everybody.
Yes,
Dan
absolutely.
Campbell's doing better than people think. Where they've been lacking is third and fourth down execution. But that's a combination of the fact that we don't have as good of an interior O-line as we once had. So therefore, on third and short, we've had to pass instead of run, and coverage is better in the league this year.
I see. Okay, Smokin Jim, say hello to Smokin Jeremy B, Jeremy Ballrich.
Hey, Smokin Jim, Frazier. We've talked before. It's good to see you again and hear you, or should I say hear you again?
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. All right. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about what the Steelers fans can expect. As you know, the Steelers play the Lions at Ford Field. What can we expect this year from the Lions?
Well, I'm hoping we see Miles Frazier because we were told we were going to see him more the last game, and he didn't play but 5 snaps. Miles Frazier is the rookie we drafted out of LSU, who actually did better in pass protection than Tristan Colon, and we saw last week versus the Rams, he gave up both sacks that Goff took. So I don't understand why they say one thing and don't do it. I know that sometimes that's just coach speak, but sometimes coach speak has to go away and become real speak. Does it not?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It does. You're absolutely correct. And sometimes that's what has to happen. Coaches, they speak what they want to say. Players will speak out with what they sometimes say, but it's all about what the coach says. Who cares about what some of the players say? You know what I mean?
Right.
In some perspective. But nowadays you can't do that anymore. You know, players speak out and say, social media is out here now. You got players saying stuff on social media and going all across the board. Can't keep a secret of anything. You know what I mean? You know, that goes on with the news media and social media and stuff. Smokin' Jim Frazier, you have any comments or anything you want to add or a question you want to ask Jeremy?
Smokin' Jeremy, I think you know, people around the country don't give enough credit to how tough that division is out there with the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, and I tell you what, man, every week, usually the Minnesota Vikings are a good football team too, man. It's like every week, man. Now Chicago Bears is really good this year, man, and to just go through that gauntlet of playing your division, man, you got the injury just seeming to pile up. It just seems like whoever the healthiest at the end of the year will probably win this division. Is that the way you see it?
Well, right now, with the Packers losing Micah Parsons, Zach Tom, and a cornerback for the season last week, then you got Christian Watson, who's right now day-to-day because he narrowly missed a major chest injury with his MRI, but they don't know if he'll be ready to go this weekend. That's big blows to that defense. That's bigger blows than what we have. And if you actually look at our injury report, even though it has lots of players on there, 7 players were not even going to make the roster or were going to be backup. 4 of them are coming back off of injury right now. So that's where, I'm not as leery about it. What hurts is losing both all-pro safeties. But that's why we signed 2 all-pro safeties to come in. They just weren't ready for the Rams game. We signed DeMonte Kazee, who in 2018 was
he played for the Steelers.
Leader, and he played
Dallas
for the Steelers.
Cowboys. Yeah.
And then we signed Jalen Mills, who's a former Super Bowl champion, who played for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2018. This is some vet presence we need because all we got are young guys who really don't know what they're doing back there.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Smokin' Jeremy B is brought to you in part by our new sponsor, the Bonfire Restaurant in Ocean City, Maryland. The Bonfire is a buffet restaurant, prime rib, all-you-can-eat seafood, and all-you-can-eat crab legs as well they offer. Great food, great cooking, some super-duper food, I got to tell you. And you need to visit the Bonfire today, and I'm going to highlight this a little bit here because I want you to see the phone number, if I can get it there. Oh, hold on a minute. I got to take Smokin' Jim's thing off of here so you can see the phone number there as well. Let me take Smokin' Jim off for a minute here. Let me do that, and then we'll get him back up there. All right, there we are. All right, now I'm going to highlight this so you can see the phone number. If I can even get that up. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right, still can't get the phone number highlighted. Oh, well.
The phone number is 410-524-7171.
Yeah, thank you very much. That because I had the phone number highlighted there that I wanted you guys to see.
Yep. But it's underneath your scrolling banner at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. That's why I read it off for you.
Yeah, area code 410-524-7171 is the phone number. Call the Bonfire today. They're having a New Year's Eve buffet. And if you want to get a seat, my suggestion to you is call and see if they can take a reservation. And as I said, great food, great service, some great people there. Stop by the Bonfire on Coastal Highway in Ocean City, Maryland. And I got to tell you, man, if you leave here hungry, you did something wrong. So there you are. All right. And that's our new sponsor, the Bonfire Restaurant. And I wanted to, and I forgot to mention this as well. DWAYNE Morton was brought to you in part by North American Millwright Construction and Contracting. Call them today, 410-388-9870. North American Millwright. Now, look, they service West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, New Jersey, and I got to tell you, 5 states they service. So don't hesitate to call them today. Area code 410-388-9870. Tell them Ralph Williams sent you. And they have done some great construction and contracting work on my home, and they do quality work. They really do, and they don't play around with the price either. All right, Smokin' Jim, do you have any more questions for Jeremy or anything you want to add?
Yeah, I just got one, Jeremy. I know the fans. In my opinion, the Detroit Lions is one of the historically great franchises in the National Football League, but they haven't won a world championship since 1958.
That was actually December 29th, 1957.
1957, and I know the fans must be really restless.
I say the same prayer at the beginning of every season. Just one before I die. Just one before I die, please.
Yeah,
Lord.
exactly. Yeah.
But, you know, when we went into the draft, we were told by Frank he might be coming back. So that's why they really didn't draft a center. They drafted two guys that practiced at center but never played a snap in game out of college at guard, in Miles Frazier and Tate Ratliff. But that's because they expected Frank to be back. We all knew that Graham Glasgow is okay at center, but he's no Frank Ragnow. He's came in, and I think in the 2 years he's been here, we were 50-50 on wins and losses between the two seasons when Frank Ragnow had to be out due to injury. But that inoperable toe, and then while he was off this year, he didn't even realize it. He said, "Oh, I've got something going on with my chest. It hurts every now and then." He goes through the physical, and he literally tore his pectoral muscle from the bone.
Oh, my. Wow. There's a lot of those injuries nowadays, Jeremy, and I think you'll agree with me, pectoral injuries. Isaac Seumalo had one, and TJ Watt had one. So, I mean, a lot of guys are getting these pectoral injuries.
Right.
And
but he did that. He did that while retired.
Oh,
he didn't do it in the game. And he came in for his physical, says, "Yeah, I'm having some tightness here." And I was like, if that's just tightness for this guy, how tough is this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the fact he walked in and took an NFL physical and did the workout before the physical that he was supposed to do, passed the workout, does the physical and fail because he has a torn pectoral. How tough is he?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good question. Exactly. All right. Smokin' Jeremy B. Tell us a little bit more. I know Dan Campbell's calling a play. Smokin' Jim said he, and then you rebutted on that and everything else with the Detroit Lions. What's they're 8-6. Steelers are 8-6 now, and it looks like this could be a really dogfight kind of a game. I said at the beginning of the year I didn't think Dan Campbell could survive without his coordinators. He's managed to survive to 8-6. Okay, but they're not as good as they were last year with the coordinators. So and it's I'm right about that right now because they're at 8-6 right now. Something that I think a lot of Detroit Lions fans didn't expect. So.
Oh, actually, I kind of did. I expected us to have a less than stellar season like last year, but I thought it would be good enough to win the division because I didn't realize how much better the Packers and the Bears were in the division.
Oh, yeah. No one thought Ben Johnson and the Bears were going to be as good as they are this year.
But give them credit where credit's due.
Yes.
They're winning a lot of games. But who have they beaten? They beat the Eagles. They haven't beat us. And they haven't beat Green Bay yet.
No.
So that's their biggest test is this weekend. Even without Micah Parsons, that's still a test for them.
Yeah, it is. It is exactly.
So,
Green Bay. Michael Parsons has that back injury, and now he just got hurt again. So,
torn ACL. He's out for the season.
Yes, exactly. He's out for the season. So Green Bay, Minnesota, they're a disappointing group of people. They're in last place in the division. They kind of disappointed me this year. I expected better from them, but that's not happening. And you guys have a bunched up division right now, where you have where everybody is sort of bunched up in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The top three are separated by 2 games. The only one that's out of it right now is Minnesota. But if they get hot and win out, and the rest of us lose, they're in the mix.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
and I'm not sugarcoating it. I said this would be one of the best divisions in football this year. And I said I think the second best division is the NFC West because I saw the Chiefs falling off. Remember when we did our AFC
Yes,
NFC?
exactly.
It
I
was
said the same thing. The Chiefs were going to fall off. The luster of Mahomes and Kelsey's, I hear now is threatening to retire at the end of the year. He can live off of Taylor Swift's money, that kind of thing. And, so I saw that coming. I knew it too. You and I both called that. We both called that on the NFL roundtable that Kansas City was going to start falling. And, the Eagles, they haven't fallen as far down as KC, but they've fallen a little bit this year. They've lost some games they probably should have won, that kind of thing. And, so there's even a rumor out there they want Nick Sirianni fired. They want Todd Bowles fired. They want Mike Tomlin fired. There's a lot of coaches out there that people want fired.
The Todd Bowles one, I kind of get if you saw that epic failure versus the Falcons. They set a franchise record in accepted penalties and called penalties in that game. They had 19 penalties called, 17 accepted for 125 yards. To put that in perspective, Bijan Robinson rushed for 32 yards less than they had penalty yards, and yet they managed to win that game.
Yeah, exactly. And Raheem Morris, of course, Brandon Keeler from the Sports Nuts, is a big fan of Atlanta Falcons. They're failing. Raheem Morris, they want him out. So my next question to you, Jeremy, before I let you go, because we got to wrap things up, get to our Wrestle Talk show. Your thoughts on Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn? I know Aaron Glenn's having a tough up in the Jets. I don't think anybody can help them. You know what I mean? At all. But do you think he made a mistake on letting Aaron Rodgers go? Smokin Jim Frazier seems to think that. Do you think that he should have kept Aaron Rodgers there for at least 1 year to get to acclimate himself or whatever?
Aaron Rodgers was worse than Zach Wilson statistically for the Jets, so I understood it.
Right.
So you got to put it in perspective. Aaron Rodgers, yes, he's a great quarterback, but if you give him dog food ingredients, you're going to get dog food play.
I like that.
And that's all Mara and the GM has put on that roster so far is dog food ingredients.
I like that. That's a good one.
Stars.
Yeah,
and they traded away 2 of those defensive stars at the trade deadline, and for a couple of games, it looked like they were getting it. Why? Aaron Glenn kept the people that was buying into his system. But
right? Yeah,
it's no different than that year where we kept the guys that were buying in, but were high priced in 2021 with Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. Guess what? By the end of the season, the ones that didn't buy in, they were gone, right?
There's kids in Africa, sis. She's sorry.
Charles Xavier. Yes, we know there's kids in Africa, but guess what? There's homeless, hungry kids in America too that need our love.
Exactly. All right. Okay, Smokin Jim Frazier. Any final thoughts or anything you want to add for Smokin Jeremy B?
Great job, Smokin Jeremy B. Outstanding information, man.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy, for being part of the program as always, and we'll be in touch. Thank you. Smokin Jeremy B. Jeremy, promote yourself. How can people find you, get a hold of you, your social media sites, and all that stuff?
You can find me at Jeremy BALLREICH on Facebook. You can find me at Smokin Jeremy B on Twitter, at Smokin Jeremy B1 on Instagram. You can also find me on my channel on YouTube, which is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions. You can find me on Amazon and Roku with the Huddle Sports app. Good to see you, Cyberisky.
Yeah.
And you can also find me on the SouthFloridaTribune.com where I write about the Detroit Lions, and on the Roundtable IO where I write about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, so you've indulged into the Jacksonville Jaguars. Liam Cohen, man, he's doing pretty good down there.
Yeah, and I did say they'd be a better team this year. That I had it coming down.
Real quick, Todd Bowles is in the same situation. He lost Liam Cohen, and there we go. So
and the offense isn't controlling the clock like it used to.
Right, exactly.
Get gassed, and they're giving up points late. Here's something else to look at. Remember when they were 5-1 and they played Detroit and ended up 5-2?
Yes, that's where the slide came. They started
Ever
sliding
since
away.
then, they've been 2-6.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, I like Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield had the luxury of two good offensive coordinators. He really did. And now, we'll see what happens. Todd Bowles is another Mike Tomlin. He'll go 9-8 this year, possibly make the playoffs. We'll see, but we'll find out. All right, thank you again, Jeremy, for being on the program. We'll be in touch. Thank you. And that was Smokin' Jeremy BALLREICH from the Kneecap Biting. Smokin' Jim, real quick, any final thoughts? Anything you want to add? And give me a score for this week's game. Go. 34-32, right?
Well, I tell you what, for the Pittsburgh Steelers to win, they're going to have to score in the 30s. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have a shot. 34-32, Pittsburgh.
All right. Thank you for being part of the program here, Vogs 18. Unfortunately, we're getting ready to go off. We're getting ready to come back with Wrestle Talk. That's coming up next right here on the Sports Nuts Network. We'll be back in a few moments. Wrestle Talk, lots to talk about. Saturday night's main event, John Cena's retirement, and a whole lot more. But before we go, don't forget tomorrow at 3 to 4 p.m. on Philadelphia station 860 AM WWDB. Here it is.